Absolutely. And Felios, first pick, are we surprised? No, not really. Annie, first pick in response, are we surprised? Not really. Wukong coming in next, or Vi, okay, alright, that's the change up here for BLG. Let's see where exactly Weibo now decide to go with that Wukong up and available, whether or not they want to take it up just by strength of champion, or if they, of course, also want to go towards this Gragas, right? There is the chance of a little bit of anti-synergy, right? And you can always worry about that. So let's see exactly what Weibo want to get up to here.
And this is the thing, they banned away the Renekton. They had banned away the Vi themselves in game number 1. Weibo said, look, the Aphelios is the bigger thing here. We want that for ourselves. So you take that trade, and they're going to go back to the Gragas here. What will they kind of put into this? That's the big question, though.
Yeah, that's the big question. I feel like you're holding on to this Gragas flex, right? So, I mean, you could blind Cassante here pretty happily and move on. I think that's probably the safest bet here for Weibo, unless they're really concerned about something coming out in counter from BLG, out of bin rather, like the Gwen. Ooh, playing with the Poppy Hobber, this could be pretty good, and we saw a very high value Poppy game earlier, where it just effectively nullified the entire team composition. So let's see how this one does for Weiwei.
And the big thing as well is that this is actually a flex. TheShy has played the Poppy. Weiwei has played the Poppy. This is not guaranteed to go into that jungle role. So we'll wait to see where BLG want to try and take their draft. And I imagine Bin will be getting himself priority as last pick to figure out where everything's going to be going.
Yeah, exactly. So BLG still go towards the Rakan, despite that Poppy being there. It does mean that BLG with no AD carry will definitely have this pool pinch. So, you know, expect the Zeri ban, expect maybe even the Lucian ban as well. Or, maybe the Zyre as well. Probably makes a little bit more sense. And Lucian seems that the Rakan is already there. So I think those bans probably very telegraphed here for Weibo. And BLG will just pinch what they can from the support role. Maybe the Leona alongside it. Wow, Weibo still putting a lot of respect on Bin's name, going towards the Kennen. So
yeah,
don't really care about what AD carry Elk will get. Just saying, look, we think that it doesn't really matter in this one. We are more focused on Bin and his ability to actually impact the team fights.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is that we're seeing them saying, look, this is kind of where the big thing is going. I will say that if it's up against the Poppy, which it looks like with the Cannon ban coming in, that feels like what's going into the Shy's hands. So they're probably just saying, look, we don't need to try and, you know, reinvent the wheel. Keep the Poppy relevant. Get it going on in the future of the, you know, kind of into the later stage of the game, where it becomes a much, much bigger problem for the side of BLG. Things like the Vi, the Rakan struggle so heavily when trying to deal with the Poppy steadfast presence.
Yeah, exactly. Let's wait and see exactly, because the Poppy could also be flexed into that top lane, like you kind of half alluded to. So depending on what Bin goes towards here on this R5, because this should just be Xayah, or Nazari was banned away, so it should just be Xayah. Bin will definitely have a little bit of pick of the litter here. So Weibo split those bans with that in mind. I'm kind of trying to rack my brain on what BLG will look towards here in the support role, or I mean, technically, that Gragas and the Poppy are flexed in every role besides
yes,
the AD role.
True,
so,
actually, very true.
The more you think about it, so this is really going to be a bit of a cards will now be turned up for Weibo, more likely than not. Let's see, here's Renar being hovered here, and they will lock this one in, I imagine, as it's into Rakan, pretty strong lane matchup, and if BLG are looking to go forward, this will always be able to turn it around, and the Cassante did go unpicked, and it seems like they will lock this one in.
We'll wait to see where they want to try and bring that last one. I love seeing the Renata coming out as well. You look at all the champions that are here for BLG, just kind of really punish a lot of the kind of, you know, short-range champions that everyone wants to kind of jump onto your face with. Now we'll get to see where this Poppy goes in the last pick. To see, you know, potentially go for the Cassante. Yeah, lock that one in. Technically speaking, could be a Gragas top with a Cassante mid. We still have yet to see where that goes. We've seen the Annie kind of being, people picking the Cassante into the Annie quite a few times actually here in the LPL. So now with BLG, what you've got, I mean, this is a great answer here to just try and all in with the all in. You're just kind of saying to everybody, go, go, go. Nothing else to be done here. But I was just about to say, would leave you a little bit kind of wanting on the sidelines. So Gwen gets locked in, a signature for Bin, something he has won an MSI with, and something he wants to continue to push in here with this series and continue the series on to 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. So this Gwen pick going to be hyperscaling on the side lane, right? I think what the beauty of the Weibo comp is they could actually probably flex around these picks and end up with slightly stronger lanes than I believe what they're going to land on, which is going to be TheShy with Cassante and Xiaohu with Gragas. But I think still, compositionally, right? 3 bruisers, a lot of frontline. Light is going to have to put on a bit of a 1v9 show here because he is so much, if not all, of Weibo's late game damage, whereas BLG have multiple facets to play through, right? Bin on Gwen is always going to be a monster, and of course, on the bottom side, we've got that Xayah on Elk. We know Xayah is so capable of mincing through front lines if she goes untouched and she can dodge away from some of that CC via the Featherstorm.
Yeah, absolutely, and big moment here for BLG and for Weibo. Both these teams are massively huge implications coming into this one here. Not only would you be able to get themselves a much higher win-loss in the standings, but you'd also be able to get yourself the head-to-head should it come down to that later on the season. That top two, oh so elusive and oh so powerful. And it's going to be a big one. Weibo already 1-0 up in this series. BLG looking to bounce back with a signature Bin Gwen. We'll see if they're able to try and right this ship, right themselves back up into the series and send us to 9 games on the day, or if Weibo will finally look like they can get themselves some consistency and build themselves back up into this series, build themselves back up into the confidence of the LPL fans. It's all to play for. It's all about to kick off. We jump in onto the red for game number 2 of this best of 3.
Super excited. Weibo, like you mentioned, want to cleanly carry out this series in a 2-0 fashion, but I will say BLG have some scary picks themselves, right? Yagao on the Annie, whilst it didn't necessarily have the impact that you would have hoped it would have had in game number 1, it's always can be just that one big Tibbers ultimate to come through, and of course, naturally Bin as well. After he gets past 2 items, he is going to be an absolute menace to deal with, right? 3 melee champions and a champion that he can negate a lot of the damage of from the Shroud. It's going to be a very scary prospect for Weibo to deal with. So again, in a very similar manner, I do want to see Weibo be proactive in the early game, right? I do want to see them look for plays and find aggressive picks and ganks from the side of weiwei, just because I feel like BLG do have very strong scaling tools. But in that same breath, right, TheShy is on Cassante and Light has a Felios. So there's a lot of years packed in to the Weibo side draft. But BLG still have some tools of their own.
See how they're able to use those tools effectively or not. You know, poor craftsman blames his tools, but we'll see what way they kind of work with right now. And good little cheeky word there from Xiaohu just to get full information as to where Shun will be starting. We can kind of come back into this top side. I will say, you got to be very careful in the early game here as the Gwen, because I feel like that Q3 combination can be quite devastating, as we're seeing already.
I have seen so many Cassantes randomly, so like Bin is not winning this trade. You know what I mean?
Not yet,
like,
he's not.
It's so scary. Now level 2 will come in, and then that's when like TheShy has to pay a little bit more respect. He's also got pots and a biscuit, which he's not popping right now. He'll do it as I say it. Cast the semi-curse. But
you just reminded him.
Either way, yeah, you know, he actually, he was just listening in.
Yeah,
TheShy.
That's a fact. All players at all times in all major leagues have access to the commentators' comms.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh. Wow, okay. A lot of respect.
Okay. Double flash burned, but on respectful. Not letting the Crisp kind of bully him away from this one here. Now, this gets a little bit dicey in this top side. It is a flash on the Gwen, so no Ghost or no Ignite, but do they want to try and maybe go for something a little bit more aggressive? That is the question.
Here we go. All right, weiwei. This is what I wanted to see. Aggressive dive. Level 1, both on Elk.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way you can get out of this one here on. You're going to go down. Great tanking of the tower here. Elk should be able to pick up level 2. There it is.
Redive it,
they
honestly.
Redive it, but it's risky.
I mean, if you can make Elk miss the wave, I don't mind.
Oh, it's beautiful! It's absolutely beautiful, and that forces everything. Elk gets himself a 1-for-1 trade, and what could have been exceptional for Weibo, Elk turns right on its head.
Oh my god, Elk, you monster. He's just such a Giga Chad, man. Every single time he has the opportunity to do something like this, he does it. And not only that, it's basically a solo kill. He's level 3, caught that entire wave as well. He is monstrously ahead now off of a massive misplay. And Weibo, honestly, the idea is good, because if you make him miss that wave, even if he gets the kill, it feels pretty damn bad on the XP front, right? So go for the play, but Elk just turns it on his head.
Massive play there from Elk. This is what I was saying about BLG. It's not just Bin. It's not just Sean. Elk was massive in MSI as well, and he has consistently been an exceptional carry here for this team. And weiwei, he's trying to defend himself right now, and this is all over a Scuttlebug. It's all over you, sir. You are the star. The spotlight is on you. Shun just wanted to wait till he had Smite to guarantee in case there was a bit of a contest, but really well played there by the BLG bot lane.
Yeah, so good. As let's just look at it again, right? Initial dive, really smart. I actually like the target allocation too, going on to on, because he doesn't have cleanse, right? So killing him, no flash as well, so he can't get away from the dash. And then we're just waiting for Weiwei's cooldowns to come back up, right? You kill Elk here, he misses a lot of this wave, but there's feathers on the floor already from clearing the wave, and it's just not respected by Weibo at all. Light also has to blow his flash. Could have very easily died here too.
Yeah.
Excellent turnaround from Elk. And again, all of that solo XP because he didn't actually die during the gank, and he got a solo kill. So it's just an insane amount of XP to now be ahead of.
Huge moment there for Elk to try and make sure that Weibo don't gain the early game. This is the thing with the Poppy, is that once you're level 3, as Nightmare likes to say, you're full build. You don't even need anything else after that point. You are level 3. I mean, you have so much power.
That is honestly the beauty of Poppy sometimes, right? Diving those side lanes, it's so easy because you can't escape. There's a wall to the side of you all the time. So you will often just kind of have to suffer the experience, right? So we will continue to track Weiwei and see how aggressive he's willing to be on those dives, right? Sometimes one dive goes awry and it can definitely throw off, you know, junglers and generally players from wanting to look for those more aggressive plays, but it should have... Oh. On. Could have took one more tower shot and died. That one caught me off guard for a second, but he will just dash out. But yeah, I still want to see Weiwei look for these aggressive plays as Shun is looking for one of his own.
I mean, Shun kind of wins this fight 100%. He's got a Ruby Crystal and he's got himself the longsword. So comparatively to the boots, you're just not gaining a lot here for the side of the from the Poppy. But that does mean that Dragon's going to be secured. You do not have the health bar here as Weiwei to go back into that jungle. That's just a very early Dragon. This is the BLG that I was trying to talk about in the previous game when we started off this, is that just such a huge amount of pace and tempo available to them when they get the right champions. And it's starting to build up a little bit. Weibo need to make sure they don't get lost in the, or you know, fall too far behind to the speed at which BLG want to play.
Yeah, we love the big pace around here. The real ones will know. And BLG are playing at that tempo at the minute. And a lot of it definitely coming from the fact that that bottom side play went so right for Elk. And that turnaround, and basically, in the long sequence of it, that's how they end up with Dragon, to be honest. Being able to reclaim a lot of that tempo, and I think now the next point of call for BLG will just be looking towards this Herald, right? Bin should have priority a lot of the time up here on the top side, and I expect that Shun will look to utilize the fact that Bin will be pushed up quite aggressively and should have first movers. Ooh, kind of far forward under the tower here.
Yeah, very far forward. Bin greeting for a plate right there. Has to flash. And yeah, you get 175 gold, but I don't know how worth that is.
Yeah, so I would like to introduce you guys to the top lane curse, also known as Los Platos. And unfortunately, Bin fell victim to it. The 175 gold. That dopamine rush of hearing the cash, you know, drop on top of you and seeing that big 175. Bin, unfortunately, falls prey to Los Platos as I feel like Elk and On are going to fall prey to this gank.
He's going to try. Elk goes flash away, cleanses after the fact as well. Should be able to keep himself alive for the moment. But all summoners burn pretty much on that bot side except for On's flash. So might be seeing another Weiwei gank in the near future.
Yeah, we should be for sure. Both summoner spells. I mean, the thing is, now that Elk is level 6, it's still, you know, it's very, very difficult to dive. It's still doable, but, you know, you always have to worry about the feathers plus the pullback. And if you can dodge out on the wall stun, that's it. You've effectively done your job on that dive. That is a lot of Poppy's power in dives, so Weiwei is going to have to be careful about that. But without those summoner spells, you are still very, very vulnerable.
Very vulnerable indeed. And I will say, we got flash available for Shun now with that cease and desist. He might be sending himself bot side. And honestly, I'd love for him to do to throw that ultimate onto Crisp. I actually think that Crisp is probably the better target if he goes for a bot lane gank, just because no flash on the Renata, exceptionally squishy champion. Very, very easy to burst down when they don't have the flash available to them. So curious to see what they end up kind of working with right now. But Shun just happy to start up this Rift Herald, knowing that the Poppy's in the bot side, because he can see that his support's doing his due diligence and getting him that information.
Yeah, not only that, but again, you know, skirmishing around Bin at this point in the game is always going to bring pretty big high yields. And TheShy is almost still on cooldown, right? So that's a lot of that champion skirmishing power inside of Cassante at the early stages here. So everything just lines up. We'll pick up this Rift Herald, and BLG continue to hold neutral objective dominance as Weiwei is back again. And I think BLG need to tell a friend, because if they don't, I think this dive is going to happen for a third time in a row. You know, thankfully calling Shun down off the reset from the Herald, so they should be alright, and Weiwei's just going to clear a little bit more vision.
Yeah, with the wave crashing in as it is, On will take a handshake that he does not want. And we'll see Yagao, though. Maybe in a little bit of trouble. Ooh, that Hex Flash. They thought about it. Definitely thought about it.
I'll be honest, I would have done it. But I'm a stupider man than Weiwei is. So. Can appreciate the
not as composed as Weiwei as it would be. Shun using the Vault Breaker just to get himself over the wall. Nice little bit of CC from Crisp. Means that there's no real chance of an engage coming out here from the side of BLG and their jungler. We kind of come back in. It's about a 500 gold lead in favor of BLG. And honestly, it's kind of a lot of it's just coming from that top side CS gap. You know, it's 20, maybe that might be about 15 or so CS, but it is starting to get to the Gwen where if you leave her alone for too long, she starts to become exceptionally powerful. You don't even realize it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those picks, right? If it doesn't have impact, you almost forget that it's there. And then it hits Nash's plus, of course, the Riftmaker, and all of a sudden it one-shots you. So you feel really bad about it. And I like that the Observer zooms out here, just, you know, highlighting that ward at the very back. Of course, don't forget, now that the teleport changes have come through, we've been on this patch for a little while now. 10 minutes, of course, the Unleashed teleport comes online. So the TheShy will have that one active, whereas Bin, it seems, blew his teleport not too long ago. So he's not going to have that available for the next dragon. Could be the difference maker, right? Bin should always be able to, like, secure priority. But right now, going to be underneath his tower for the next 15 seconds or so. We'll see whether or not this impacts how Weibo and BLG both look to contest things like vision and also just generally jostle for position.
And those who are curious, we are on 13.11, but we will be on 13.12 come Monday. So moving on to a new patch, a couple of different changes coming in as we start to.
Gone.
Sorry, she is gone. There was a moment, I believe, where like she was nerfed and then like Stridebreaker became a build and you were super scared.
No, well, see, I have some bad news for the Zeri haters like myself. There is a Shiv AP hybrid build going around now.
Oh no.
I don't like it.
You don't condone that.
I don't condone it. But pro teams like to stay with champions. So, you know, if we see AP Shiv Zeri, then yeah, there is that chance. But there should be a couple of new ADCs in the mail. Let's keep our fingers crossed and maybe it spices up what has been a very long
Kai'Sa.
Yeah, we've had a very long stint with a lot of these champions. Meta talk aside, anyway, BLG are on this dragon, and they have position here. This Keeper's Verdict, who's going to hit? No one. Well,
that's pretty big. We're going to see Weiwei straight flippy 50-50 as they go to try and get it to 900. They do get it down. That's a good explosive cast right onto On. There's going to be the hostile takeover, but the feathers go flying. Xiaohu has to flash. Everyone just kind of disengaging. This is very reminiscent of game number 1, where a lot of damage, a lot of ultimates thrown in, but nobody goes down. It is BLG, though, who are on their early soul, and this is a much better start for them considering the dragons they lost in the first game.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see if this can force Weibo into making some decisions that perhaps they're going to be a little bit uncomfortable making, right? Because we felt like for BLG, last game, that dragon stacking should have been relatively consistent and easy to achieve, but it just wasn't by the end of the game. So Weibo could be on the back foot on that particular front, but they do find themselves with a lot of, you know, strong tools, right? Skirmishing tools in particular, but as the time goes on, Bin gonna scale up, right? He has to be pretty close to the Riftmaker in particular. Shun as well, just hit first item, and you know that Annie, first item, Xiaohu, oh goodness me.
Yeah, he didn't know! The flanking Xayah is the deadliest! It's not exactly something we're used to seeing, but they want to donate this one over to Elk. Honestly, they might actually just have to try and take this one. Yep, I was gonna say, that's getting a little risky, and Elk was getting a little bit lower, so nice little move there from BLG. Again, creative, finding opportunities which you're just not going to be expecting from the side of Weibo. There's no way you expect Elk to be in that brush.
No, you're just not expecting the AD carry to be behind you. It's that simple.
Oh, they're doing it again.
Oh.
Another flank! Another kill! And this time Elk can pick it up. Nicely done. I'm telling you, man, the bird in the bush is the one that's the scariest.
The bird in the bush is the one that is the scariest.
Yes.
I do tend to concur with that one. Birds in bushes are scary. Elk should be able to get this tower right before the plates fall off, so that's going to feel pretty nice. Oh, no. 2 more. I think he could attack that, but oh well. We'll lose out on the plate gold, but we'll certainly still get first tower here. Honor's just going to ensure that he has a safe place to base, kind of. Dash back.
Oh.
Xiaohu? What can Xiaohu do? If he lands the Everfrost, he can definitely be a bit annoying here as the cask sends him back. So,
yeah,
there you go.
Unfortunate.
Play dissipates.
Definitely an opportunistic moment there for Xiaohu, and knows the cask is on a relatively low cooldown. Not really worried about it from the next fight, which really isn't going to happen for at least another minute, you would imagine. But with Weibo having a lot more priority in that mid lane, they should be able to kind of move up towards this top side and gain a little bit more priority around this Rift Herald. Now that Bin has kind of pushed that one in, he recognizes he's not really as safe as he once was. He's got the Rift Maker, but doesn't want to take a 1v2 just yet.
No, not just yet. Gwen really wants that second item. Then you start pulling off those shenanigans. But still, very, very strong and powerful and ready to skirmish around this objective as, yeah, teleport.
Oh, he's
from
waiting for
Yagao.
him. He's waiting for him to go all out. Oh, it's so massive. Giga Brain. Yagao called it. Yagao said he's going to all out him over here, and I'm just going to be waiting. Oh, my God. It's so brilliant.
Oh, that's such a good read from Yagao. Take a bow. Honestly, that was so smart. On getting picked on a bit by Weiwei, but Elk is also being chunked out. Lights Moonlight Vigil goes wide. I don't think it would have killed him, but it certainly would have sealed his fate out of this team fight, as BLG are still on top of the Herald, but they are a little bit split. On an Elk, kind of defending this tower. I think Weibo just making the call to take the tower, but BLG let the Herald reset.
BLG.
Oh, God.
You've got TP on TheShy. He can come back in on top of this one here, so he's going to be there. There's no all out, but Yagao is waiting for him in the brush again, waiting for him to kind of go for something. TheShy finds out this time around, and he's going to be just as tanky to kind of survive it. I will say, he wanted to flash away, but the snip, snip, snip. Rock, paper, scissors. This time, scissors beats rock. And that's going to be a nice little kill back here for BLG. And this is the tempo that we talk about for them. They don't mind just taking breakneck decisions, turning around, changing the objective, and going for something better.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you have to change the objective when you accidentally lose it. Teleport's coming in here.
Bin's the target. Bin is the target. They want to get on top of him, and yeah, this is going to be sacrificed here. Will get himself in line for a little bit of gold there from the local gold, but going to be falling down to Light. So Light now 2-0. Finally catch himself up, but you've wasted a lot of time and resources up that top side. Mid lane's going down.
Yeah, mid lane will go down here. Elkanon will work on this one. It certainly will be traded out. Xiaohu's on his way down, but he should just about be a little bit too late. Feels good for BLG to, at the very least, trade out continually more, so they get 2 towers in the sequence of play. And the Herald is actually still up. I don't know if they're going to be able to contest for it and get it, but it is still here as...
Light.
Oh my God!
Oh, Light! He had to flash. There was so much damage coming in here from the Tibbers. And now we go back in on top of this one here. Xiaohu gets caught up in a little bit of a charm. Rakan's got a lot of charisma. And now a TP comes in. It's pandemonium right now, Jamada. There's no time to breathe. There's no time for analysis as they get booted right out of there. Fantastic ultimate there from the Poppy. Just to make sure everything goes away. And take a breath right now, because we're just going breakneck speed.
You know, Weiwei was like, listen, guys, I appreciate that you are big enjoyers of the big pace, but we just want to break for a second, send some flying with the Keeper's Verdict. And the Herald is still up a sheet, but so is this third dragon, and I think BLG should be securing this one during the replay. Let's get a look at how Xiaohu got caught out. Looks like it's just Elk and on both sides. Does he go in? Does he?
Yeah.
He doesn't get to... Oh, okay. Sure. Sucks. Can't really do much about that. I don't know what else I could say, honestly.
When you say sure, it's like when you know like a kid's lying or something, you're like, sure, okay, yeah, whatever.
Sure. All right, man.
All right, whatever. But like you said, the Rift Herald was still there and is going to reset now in a second as BLG, that's an odd place for it to have a charge. The Rift Herald has never really been the same since they changed the aggro, have it?
Whatever they've done to the patience bar of Rift Herald, I don't know. It's just made it so buggy recently.
Yeah.
You know,
not having a fun time. Doesn't know what they want.
Yeah, I don't think I casted you before I went off to America, but there was also one series at the very start of summer where like Herald was resetting at Pixel Brush, and it was just doing a little dance going back and forth, and it actually cost the team like an unreasonable amount of time because of it. It's, yeah, I don't know. New patience bar in that thing needs to be looked at, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
But they got the Herald in it, so.
Exactly. Yeah. I was going to say, look, all said and done, Herald was still confirmed, which is nice. We will see a 4,000 gold lead now for BLG. When we came out of that as well, they took the Dragons. They're already on Soul Point. That means in 4 minutes time, 25 minutes, we're going to have ourselves a Soul fight. This is going to be huge as well. You think of an Ocean Soul for something like a Vi, a Gwen, so very valuable as TheShy and On. That's a 5-level difference, actually, I just realized. So TheShy could actually destroy him just off stats alone.
Yeah. I think Asante can destroy a lot of champions with a 5 level lead, to be fair.
No longer 100% presence, though. That's all that matters.
True. Yeah, and they are...
I think it's actually fallen down even more. I think it's 96% now. I think Nico, Vi, and Milio are higher. I think Milio's almost 100. I think he's got like 99% or something.
Yeah, and there's probably been like a couple of games where teams are so used to it being permabanned that they just forgot.
You just don't play it.
They just didn't log it in. But Bin is kind of playing with fire, and I'm not talking about the red buff. As should.
Oh, they're jumping straight in on top of Light. He is the carry, like I said. There's a hostile takeover, though, and that's a lot of damage. No bailout for you, and Shun keeps himself alive. Back over the wall to keep himself going. Nice knock up there to try and keep Yagao alive, but unfortunately for him, he gets right back into the fray. It's a 2-for-1 trade, though, and this is the crazy thing. Elk wasn't there. That was a 5v4 effectively in favor of Weibo, and they still come out the worst of it. Now TheShy taking a lot of damage. I don't know if he can stay here because with Shirley coming down, this could be just straight up a tower. They don't even have to stay for this. They can go for Baron.
By the way. This is Baron, yeah. Baron should just die. Weiwei and Blight are the 2 most important members for a contest, and they are both only now just about to respawn.
TheShy has
and with
TP.
a Gwen and with a 2-item AD carry, this should just be mincemeat. So Xiaohu and TheShy have to make the biggest mess in the pit in the history of League of Legends.
Here we go. Elk's got all of his summoners available to him. There's the Baron going down, confirmed. That's Shun getting that particular pick off for his team. Now the feathers will go flying. Can they get any kills? And this is the thing. You're in a bit of no man's land all of a sudden. The Aphelios is coming. Elk has to flash. And BLG will get themselves their Baron. They don't get any more kills on the exit, but they get the big purple worm.
Yeah, exactly. Big purple worm. Everyone gets out with it. Elk does have to expend his flash, so that does feel bad. But one thing I want to highlight here, when Shun and Bin go in for this play, the mist from the Gwen actually blocks out not only the Renata ultimate, but the Keeper's Verdict at the same time. If Weibo was just a frame ahead, then he could have sent Bin back, and they probably could have killed Shun in the middle of that engage. A little bit unlucky as Yagao gets pulled over. On does buy him a fair amount of time, but unfortunately it's just not enough, whilst on the backside, Weiwei was always in no man's land. Once that Keeper's Verdict missed, and Bin was still alive. As we come back out of the replay onto the man himself, he has now hit that Nash's Tooth spike as well, so 2 items now on that Gwen. He is a monster and he's online.
And you can see as well just how quickly the Weibo kind of damage profile just collapses without Light there. The fact that Light was taken out so early, they almost take down Shun, but it's not enough. They had to commit more resources to taking out Yagao, because otherwise he would have just walked away scot-free. So these are the small little differences that make huge waves in the game. BLG now, 30 seconds till Soul. There is no vision. Thank you so much to our observers. They have nothing. They have no idea what's going on. This is purely straight up blind. They have to walk in and hope and pray they don't die.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I feel like BLG might be atheists, because I don't think there's going to be a god to pray to for Weibo here. It's just... It's gonna be a bit rough. 7k gold deficit as well across the board. Trying to go into this composition. Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a toughie. Sheen, maybe if they can get a good chunk onto someone here. TheShy's got Q3.
Oh, he goes on the Shun. That's the perfect target. And they're gonna try and jump straight on top of everybody else. But Light is already dead. The hostile takeover is only good for nothing. Everyone is dead. And they tried to go for a fight. They didn't have damage. That could straight up be gained. You have Baron for 40 seconds. They could end it all here.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's dead. That's game. BLG just won off the back of a random skirmish in the mid lane because Weibo had to try and contest mid wave. And BLG will take us to a game 3. Much better look from BLG this time around. A lot more proactive tools. And it feels like that is definitely the name of the game in this series so far. It was Weibo with them in game number 1, BLG with them in game number 2. A lot easier to execute. And they'll take us to a game number 3.
We talked about this, Jamada. We set up the stage. We said what we wanted to see from Weibo. That is not what we wanted to see. That just felt so disconnected. It felt like BLG ramped up the pace and